Restriction to all vehicles in front of the race. All vehicles in front of the race, can you please start moving out into your positions? Thank you.
During a race, the primary mission of all commissaires on course is to enforce a secure, fair and safe workplace for those both competing and working the race convoy. Travelling at the front and rear of the race, commissaires control and direct the movement of the team and support vehicles depending on the race situation. Working with the race organisation, they act as the traffic police for the race convoy. As a rule for road races in Australia, team support cars must travel on the left side of the road. At most road cycling events, there will be 4 main cars overseeing the movement of cars and riders in the race convoy. Commissaire number 1 is the president of the commissaires panel. They start in the position directly behind the main peloton and make key decisions on where other commissaires' cars should be positioned during the race. Also in the car is the race radio announcer.
1 minute over corner of Denmark.
And throughout the race, they will have open contact with the race director and police to ensure the race runs to plan.
A quick reminder to all the teams and all the team cars. Feeding water bottles behind the peloton is done behind the car of the president of the jury of commissaires. Thank you very much.
Commissaire 2 starts at the front of the peloton, positioned behind the race director and neutral spares. They control the lead group at the front of the race during the early stages by managing the neutral service vehicle and any team cars that are sent forward. Commissaires 3 and 4 travel at the front and the rear of the sports directors' cars respectively. Importantly, they control the movement of the team support vehicles back in the race convoy.
Team car 1, 2, 3, if you want, you can pass the riders.
They also check on the return of dropped riders after a crash or mechanical problem and oversee that they return fairly to the peloton without outside assistance.
A group manages to break away from the peloton.
As the race consistently evolves on course, so does the position of the commissaire cars and neutral service vehicles.
Shimano motorbike, if you can stop and take up position behind the breakaway, please.
When a breakaway goes at the early phase of the race and opens up a gap of approximately 30 seconds, the television and neutral service motorcycles may follow under the direction of the commissaire.
Shimano motorcar, if you can stop and drop behind the brake, please. Shimano motorcar.
When the lead group opens up their advantage to about 1 minute and the time gap appears to be stabilising, the Commissaire 2 car at the head of the race will drop back to officiate behind the brake with the neutral service vehicle on hand to offer technical support. Meanwhile, the car of the president of the commissaires remains behind the main group in the peloton, with the race favourites overseeing that any potential chase to the leaders up ahead is made fairly. Behind them sits Commissaire 3, managing the front of the team car convoy, along with Commissaire 4 further back in the convoy. If a second breakaway group forms, neutral service vehicle number 2 will be instructed to service that group. If any smaller groups form in front of the peloton, the neutral service motorbike will be on hand to render assistance. Here, team vehicles are not allowed to slip in between the breakaway riders and the chasing group without authorisation from the commissaire via race radio.
The team car for Latvia is requested to the breakaway. Yes, Latvia, just wait until we get to these turns, please, and then you can go. But wait until after these turns.
They can be permitted to do so when deemed safe and when the race situation allows. But if permission is not sought, they will be warned and may be penalised by being fined, sent to the back of the race convoy, or being excluded altogether. In the final of the race, Commissaire 2 remains at the front of the race with the lead group. However, when the chasing peloton behind splits on a decisive part of the course, Commissaire 1 will follow the moves of the favourites group, with race radio calling the moves from the same car.
1 lap to go, and we got 20 seconds now.
Behind, Commissaire 3 takes the position at the back of the peloton, and Commissaire 4 takes the position managing the team support convoy. The SAG wagon stays behind the last rider in the race, even when the peloton and team cars have all continued moving forward. In a race-defining moment, such as splits caused by crosswind, one of the most important decisions commissaires may have to make is to force a barrage. A barrage is a measure taken to block team vehicles from driving between the lead group and the riders left behind. In this situation, those riders behind are obliged to catch up to the leaders without the help and slipstream of the race convoy. At the end of the race, the commissaires will report back to the PCP, who will notify the finish judge about any irregularities. Once the race results are deemed official, the award ceremony can then take place.